Lance, what are you seeing? I mean, as a production partner, I'm sure there are tips of the trade that you are seeing, things that work. And I'm interested in what you're seeing that works.
Well, first of all, I wanted to answer your last question, which will dovetail into this in a different way. We went out and did a joint research study with YouTube and Magid Research. And one of the things, it was both a quantitative study where we did a whole bunch of questions, and then we also did a series of focus groups. One of the things that was so interesting to me, and I think really addresses how we need to be programming for the future, was that many people, not just once, but in many focus groups, people would say, I come home and turn on YouTube. Now, that's a fundamental shift from where we've been in the past. They don't come home and turn on TV, they come home and turn on YouTube. Well, first of all, that gives us a lot of power. It also means you've really got to be humble and start to think about how I can address these people. And one of the things that I found there also was this notion of prime time is gone, right? Many people we spoke to and you have to think about the world outside of this room. Many people go to school all day, they go to work at night, they've got 15 or 20 minutes, maybe they've got an hour, and they want to be entertained, and they want to laugh, and they don't want to be beholden to the next schedule on TV. They want the schedule to fit their schedule. So what we've learned in how we're programming, too, is addressing how people are viewing media now. They come home, they turn on YouTube. What does that mean? It means they want 15 minutes of the best entertaining experience we can give them. So that gives us a responsibility to package in a certain way to think about that time slot. Certainly we want to increase people to 30 and 45 and 60 minutes, and they're going to find other times in their day. But they're also not necessarily consuming on their TV, although 2 to 3 years from now, I don't think there'll be any distinction about what kind of programming you're watching. You'll be watching one device, and you'll be watching all types of programming. For those of you in the room that have children, I don't think they could care less whether they're watching their favorite show on YouTube or their favorite show on TV, and they don't have an affinity with a network. They have an affinity with the program or the show that they love, or the character or the host. And whether it's an 8-minute show, a 3-minute show, or a 22 or 44-minute show is also irrelevant, right? So I watch my kids, and they're watching all of these mediums at one time. And as I think about that, and we started to talk to people, what we heard from them was, I identify with the host. This medium is more understands me and my life more than TV does. There's some immediate connection I'm making with somebody that's talking to me. I'm commenting. I'm involving myself in the future of that program. So what we learned was people that are watching web original programming are watching 13% less television. They are 2.5 times as engaged, meaning meaning two things. One, they are doing fewer things at the same time. They're not actually cooking dinner while they're talking to a friend on the phone, which they might be doing during TV. And they are also involving themselves in the show. They're liking, they're commenting, they're forwarding it to a friend, et cetera, things you don't see on TV. So that has impacted how we program, too. So the programming is a dynamic two-way programming where we think the community is part of the programming effort, and we're focusing on time frames that are specific to the way the medium's being used. And I think those things are big fundamental shifts.